He's down to 50,000 health, and this looks like a successful attempt. You'll notice how every single brick in the entire thing was destroyed before our units. Most of our units are still intact. We still have our homing rockets over here, snipers. We have a golden noob over here. Ooh, is this going to be enough? We have our tank wiggler who has 3.9 hit points, and it does look like it's going to be enough. He is not facing the right direction, and we were able to defeat the boss, the helicopter boss. That is how it's done. Usually when people are doing this boss, they're using so much more firepower. I'm so happy I was able to get that done. What's going on, everybody? This is Fry. So today we are playing another episode of Tank SoldierZ, and I will be showing you how to defeat the helicopter boss. This is going to be without having a ton of units. Obviously, you can grind and have a million snipers and defeat it that way, but I'm really going to show you a way without grinding the game too much. You are going to need some significant firepower, but without a whole lot of it, you're actually going to be able to beat this extremely difficult helicopter boss. The helicopter, of course, is in area number 2, and after you complete all the waves, you're going to be going to wave 40. This boss just came into the game. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the units and the resources that you're going to need in order to create this build, and then I will show you how this build actually beats the helicopter, and in the end I will go through and explain in much more detail and dissect it to show you all the little tricks that I did in order to make such an efficient way of beating this boss. So first of all, you have about 400 bricks from paper, cardboard bricks, and puzzle cubes, about 400 tiles. So the puzzle cubes are very important for this. They're very strong. Those, of course, come along with the snipers. And in terms of firepower, you really just need 7 snipers. I know that's a lot, but after grinding the game for a little bit, you can get there. I do like combining 4 of the snipers into a tank gear, which is going to be, I like combining them into one unit just so your area where your units are standing is smaller. You'll see why that's important in a second. And the other the other thing that you're using for DPS is just going to be 4 homing rockets. Obviously, if you have more, it's better, but this is pretty minimum. We'll also have like a golden AR. We'll have an extra auto rifle, and then just like your golden SMG, you get that from, of course, playing the game, and then you can go to the store, enter codes. You have a couple extra free units you can get from entering the current code, which is 25k, and from the rest you can get these free rewards. I don't even have the golden sniper, you don't need it. Besides for that, you just have like your golden SMG, and then just a couple of, garbage units. I use a couple of revolvers. But yeah, let me show you the build. It is worked a ton on this. So we are going to go to saves, and we are going to load, and this is what it looks like. I'll give you a brief tour, and then we are going to get right into the boss here. So first of all, you want a grid of paper, using all your light bricks on this side of the field, and on the side that the helicopter spawns, that is where you're going to build your bridge. Very important to have the bridge. I have this actually 6 tiles high, a bridge across, and then we have our bunker. Inside the bunker, you have, again, your main units. Your stronger units one on the right, weaker one's going to be on the left. You want your golden units in front because those can actually have a lot more hit points. But as you can see, we have our tank wheeler here. We have the snipers in the back, then the homing rockets, and the golden in the front, and then you just have a whole bunch of armor built. I'm going to go, after we beat the boss, I'm going to go into detail of how to build this and why the structure of this is very important, and the placement of this on this side of the board is important. And on the bottom, you just have your garbage troops. These are just our Lugers and stuff, and those are going to be able to absorb some of the shots from the boss. So let me get right into it. We are going to fight this thing. And the trick is that this, because it's such an efficient build, you do need a good spawn from the helicopter, so I'll explain that right now. You need the helicopter to spawn on this side of the board. If it spawns over here, just quit. It really needs to be lined up equal to this little chunk that you have built out. So if you want, you can just press give up. This looks like an okay spawn. I'm going to look for a little bit of a better one. Just to make sure. So we're just gonna load autosave, and let's try again, see if we get a little better spawn. If it comes again from this side, I'm really happy they added this give up button, because that makes this a lot easier. Okay, this looks like a pretty good spawn. You see the helicopter did spawn on the side that we did put the bulk of these puzzle cubes. So the way the helicopter works, he's got 400,000 health. Ridiculous. He also has a machine gun, and he's shooting rockets. The rockets do splash damage. The moment that the helicopter gets down to 265,000 health, he's going to retreat for a little bit, and we will enter phase 2 of this boss fight. Every good boss fight's got to have phase 2. Come on, guys. So you'll see he'll retreat. Now he's actually burning on fire, which will deplete the second third of his health, and as that is happening, we are going to be attacked by a wave of tanks. Tanks are going to be coming in from both directions. It's the reason we have all of this paper on the ground. Each of these papers will absorb a shot from the tank. You definitely don't want the tanks shooting your units. That is not what you want to happen. So the helicopter is actually still burning. He's still shooting these rockets, and that is why the bulk over here in front, this entire armor of puzzle cubes over here, that is going to protect us from these rockets coming in. We should be able to make pretty short work of these tanks. It looks like really all of our units are intact. So this is a really good run. You're gonna have to try this a few times. Every once in a while you get bad spawns from the tanks. They're able to knock down this bridge way earlier than they should be. But this actually looks like a really good one, because I like having the back open to look at my units, and you'll be able to tell this is actually a pretty good run. You also have bomber planes coming from the top, so we're going to deal with those quickly. Looks like we did fall, but we should be able to deal with these tanks and stuff pretty quickly. Luckily, we fell straight down every once in a while. Well, looks like this tank is rotating us, but hopefully this will die really soon. We're pretty well protected here, the way the base fell from the rockets coming in, and that is really important. We were able to deal with the second tank. Hopefully we can deal with this last bomber plane really quickly. And yep, that is on the ground. I don't really know why the I don't know why the base is moving. This doesn't always happen. It looks like a lot of our snipers are actually going to go down early. Hopefully he turns over here. Again, there's a lot of RNG, so you're going to have to try this build a few times. And he is actually attacking now the part that is protected from the base, and that is a really good sign. He's down to 50,000 health, and this looks like a successful attempt. You'll notice how every single brick in the entire thing was destroyed before our units. Most of our units are still intact. We still have our homing rockets over here, snipers. We have a golden noob over here. Ooh, is this going to be enough? We have our tank wiggler, who has 3.9 hit points, and it does look like it's going to be enough. He is not facing the right direction, and we were able to defeat the boss, the helicopter boss. That is how it's done. Again, usually when people are doing this boss, they're using so much more firepower. I'm so happy I was able to get that done. Honestly, that took me a whole bunch of tries. I'm just going to show you the one that worked, but you're going to have to be persistent and wait for the right spawns in order to get this build to work. And again, it just means you're not going to need quite as many snipers and rockets and having a million of those in order to beat this boss. Now I'm going to go through and explain a little bit in more detail how I created this and why it's important, just an important parts of this build that really did help this work. First of all, these papers are all three. I'm actually going to grab one of these papers over here. I have one floating. It's a magic trick. These papers are 3 blocks apart, and it's very important because the tanks that are coming in from this side have an area of effect splash of 3. So them being in a perfect grid, exactly 3 apart, will make sure that they are not going to, when they shoot like this paper, it's not going to shoot the next one. That will take a lot of pressure off of your base, so you're able to kill the tanks on this side of the field before the ones on this side. It's really important to have the bridge more on one side of the field, so again, you're focusing tanks that come in on this right side of the board, and then you can deal with the ones that come in after. You're technically shooting the helicopter a little faster if you're on this side too, since it comes into range of your unit. So the bridge is to make sure that the tanks are not attacking your guys. The fact it's supported on 2 sides, I have a little bit of extra supports. It's the fact it's supported on 2 sides is very important, because if the tanks, they're going to come and knock out one of these sides, but as long as the second one, which is very far away, it's across the entire board, is standing, then your guys will not fall down, which means that the tanks are still going to be focusing your bricks and not your units. The longer your units are standing, the better. So I have over here, the floor that they are standing on is really important. I have the back row made of bricks. I have the entire back open because this part really does not take that much damage. I have the puzzle cubes in the first 2, so there's 3 rows of units. The closer 2 are standing on puzzle cubes. That's because there's a lot of rockets coming in. You definitely don't want your guys falling early, and as that splash damage happens, sometimes the guys will fall if they are not sitting on puzzle cubes, so that's really important. So I have basically 2 roofs. There's one roof over here which is going to protect them from the bombs coming in from the bomber planes. I also have a second brick roof that is just going to catch some of the rockets and stuff coming in. So you can see I have just basically 2 rows. idea, and the way it becomes really efficient, is to create this sort of apparatus in front. I'm sure there's a lot of ways to do it. The way I did it was to make the main wall have a little bit of protection in front. You can see in front of these units just one row of puzzle cubes. The polyglass and the puzzle cubes are the same thing. Polyglass have one extra health. And then I created this sort of, I didn't want the bricks all, you could create like a really solid layer that everything's all cramped together. The problem is when you do that, is that the rockets coming in have more splash damage. Any two bricks that are close together are going to, if one brick gets hit, the other one is going to take more damage. So I sort of wanted to create little walls that are one space away from each other. You could make them 2 spaces away. You could really make this entire bridge little like closer, like make it here, and then you'll have a little bit more room. I actually ran out of room here. You can't actually build a brick, so this is coming all the way to the end of where you're allowed to build. But for now, I have these little walls. So I basically have 2 support beams coming from the back. I reinforced it twice with some cubes, and then I have walls coming straight up, another wall coming straight up, and then I just built a little bit of extra polycubes since we're always waiting for the helicopter to spawn on this side of the board. So I just had little sticking out just to be able to absorb as many rockets as you can. Obviously, the more bricks you have here, the better. The more firepower you have here, the better. I also combined, again, a couple of my noobs into... they have some newbies up here. I also combined them into revolvers. Revolvers have a little bit of better range and better damage than the 5 noobs. And again, I combined into a tank wiggler. You want this area to be small, so it's sort of easier to protect. The bigger the area they're standing on, the more that this wall would have to be coming into play. This wall, of course, is a little bit important just because stray rockets sometimes come in from weird angles. So you want at least something in front. I probably could have taken all of these polyglass and puzzle cubes and put them over here, and that could have been better. You could probably also build the units right on top of this pillar, and that will actually make the spawns easier because there's a lot of helicopters that spawn from the corner. So you could really move all of this, the protection and the place that they are standing. You can probably move it all the way to this edge. For now, though, I have them just 1, 2, 3, 4. It's starting at 4 across, and I have 6 different layers, 6 times 3, so there's 18 squares that they are standing on. And of course, having, again, very important to have your golden units in front because they have a ton more hit points. You can see your snipers have 45, and your golden noob, the weakest golden unit, has 300. So really important for those to be in front in order to absorb that splash damage coming in from the helicopter. Anyway, guys, I'm really excited to show you this. I give a challenge to anyone with to actually complete this boss with fewer units and fewer bricks. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. So if you actually have a better build and you want to record it, take a screenshot of it, make a little recording of you beating the boss, leave it in the comment section below. I think YouTube will allow links to other YouTube videos. If not, you can sort of give a reference and say, hey, I completed this on my channel, and I'll go check it out. I would really love to see if you guys could complete this with fewer bricks and fewer firepower, because I think this was super, super efficient. Anyway, that is going to be all for now. If you want to see more gameplay, I will be going through all the levels of this game and doing a walkthrough. There's a lot of really hard levels that I would like to show you some more creative strategies in order to complete it. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like. Make sure to subscribe for some more Roblox content, both toys, SoldierZ. I also play other games in Roblox. I will see you in the next one. Peace. This is Fry.